Alright, so in this video we're doing part 1 of physics. We're, giving objects physics, but the first class isn't actually going to show any progress. We're going to be creating a rigid body in this video, and this rigid body won't actually do anything except control speeds, right? Control movement. So we're gonna have a vector 2f called velocity. And then we're going to have a private final float friction. And we're not actually going to use this in this video, so I'll just do to do. Alright. And then we're going to have a method for later. So let's extend components. Make sure you made that in the components class, by the way. Just create an update method, which we're not going to use today. So the rigid body updates all of the collisions as well as any movements, including gravity. But we aren't going to be doing collisions today. We're going to be doing gravity today. So we're going to create this rigid body class, and we're also going to make the physics 2D class, right? All right, so... yeah, okay, so, now let's just create a couple of getters and setters and public void, add force. So this is, adding a force is kind of like, throwing an object or kicking a ball, right? You're adding force to the ball. You're not moving it. You're not moving the ball with your hands, right? If you move the ball with your hands, you pick it up. If you pick it up and then you stop picking it up, right? Like hold it. If you just hold the ball is going to stop moving, right? But adding a force is kind of like kicking the ball, where you kick it, it adds the force, it goes in the direction that you kicked it, but it keeps going when your foot stops moving, right? It has no connection with your foot after you've kicked it. So that's kind of what adding force does. And actually, in the parameters, let's call the vector 2f force, and we'll just do velocity dot add force. There we go. And then we're going to do a private final list of vector 2. It's called move forces. Just import that from utilities. Move forces equals to new array list. Oops. And then let's do public void move. Moving is the analogy I gave with picking up the ball. You're literally moving it. Vector 2f velocity. Right? This dot velocity equals to velocity. So that overrides any forces. And then let's just do public void move x. And this is just going to move the object on the x-axis, pass in a float, the velocity of x. So I'll just do vel x right here. Actually, let's call it xvel, x velocity. And we do this dot velocity dot x equals x velocity. And we'll do the same thing with y. There we go. And then let's do a getter and a getter for friction. Oh wait, sorry. Wait, we're not using friction in this video. Alright, okay, and then we'll do, sorry, I'm realizing that the code that I have written for moving the player involves code from the collision, which I said we wouldn't do this episode. So I've got myself in a bit of a conundrum. Let's just Yeah, so okay. You know what? Let's just work on the rigid body and the falling class on a different video. So yeah, that's all for this video. Next video, let's actually work on collision. Before we do the falling, that's gonna be weird, but kind of need to. You know what? You know what? Let's not do that. Let's just, I think, okay, so, you know what? Let's just work on the rigid body and the physics. So we'll do Boolean teleport y equals to false. Boolean teleport x equals to false. Right? And my OCD wants x first. And then we can do if math.absolute value, the absolute value, if you don't know what that is, right, if you have -2, the absolute value of -2 is going to be 2, right? And then we'll do the absolute value of velocity x. If it is smaller than 0.1, we'll do velocity.x equals to 0. And same thing with y. So this just makes sure that if if the object is moving at such an insignificant speed that we're like, you know what, fuck it, let's just not move it at all, because there's no point, right? Yeah, okay, so then we can do if we are not teleporting x, and we're gonna do screen position.x plus equals to velocity.x times delta time. And this stuff is really just pertaining to the, the collision stuff we're going to do in a different video, so you can kind of just ignore, just, follow me like a sheep while writing this code. Because the teleport x and y is just, that's for collision stuff. When we collide with something, we're going to want to make sure that the thing isn't stuck inside of another object when it collides with it. So then we're going to do if move forces dot is empty, then we're going to do int vel x equals to 0. Why the hell do we even use move forces crap? Wait a minute. Okay, no, we do use it. Alright, never mind. Vel x int vel y equals to 0. And this is the wrong vector to f. Okay, so what's happening is if we aren't kicking the ball, I'm going to use my analogy, yeah. If we are not kicking the ball, then the velocity is going to be equal to 0. What? Huh. Not sure what this code does. I wrote the code too. Whatever, let's do this vel y. It is 12:50 in the morning, so not really in the mood to figure it out, but yeah, let's just write the code anyways, honestly. Move forces.clear. Alright, so that does that. Not sure what exactly it does, but Oh, wait. Oh, I see. We're adding. Okay. So if the move forces. So if we are kicking the ball, or if there's a gust of wind, or if there's both, if we're both kicking the ball and there's a gust of wind, we're just going to make sure that all of those forces are added up, and then we set the velocity to that. That's what this does, right? We first check if there are any external forces like a gust of wind or a kick of the ball, and then we're going to say, all right, we're going to have two initial velocity x and y both equal to 0, and then we're going to add all of the forces, right, kicking the ball and the gust of wind to that velocity variable, and whatever the result is going to be added to our position, or that's going to be our velocity. All right, okay, that makes a little more sense. And then we can say up here, right here, slash to do collision crap. All right, so yeah, there's that. And then in the physics, actually, we don't need physics for now. Let's just test this out. So we can add a new rigid body component. And I guess we can say if key manager.onPress do left, I guess. Was it key event dot left? Then we're gonna move the object to the left. Let's do get game object test obj dot get component rigid body dot class dot move the x -1. Right? See, we're using all the methods we've made. We're getting the game object through its name, and once we've got the game object, we're gonna get the rigid body component, and then we're just gonna call the move method. So now let's press space, let's press the left arrow, and it gives us an error, of course. Why wouldn't it? Cannot assign move x. What do you mean cannot assign x? Because, oh, the velocity's null. Oh, that's because we forgot to make the constructor public rigid body. Let's create the constructor, and let's actually specify the, not the fiction, the friction. And we'll do this dot velocity equals to new vector 2f, and this dot friction equals to friction. You know what, whatever, let's uncomment this out, and now it should work. Let's just specify a friction of 1, I guess. And it's not working. Oh, right. I think it's the physics thing that actually updates everything. Maybe? Wait a minute. What is supposed to add? Should work, but it ain't. Well, it's not. Why? Why? I'm getting tired, so I'm just gonna end the damn video. We'll fix it in another episode. Yay! Right, so, yeah. Ignore that ever happened. And in the next video, we will do falling. And the video after that, we are going to do a collision thing. I suppose. Collision detection. We'll see. So yeah, see ya.